All right, 3 times x minus 7/6 quantity squared is equal to 25 over 12. And it's not going to copy, so I'll have to rewrite it. Anybody got questions right here? Now, why do I write this out right here? Well, 2 or 3 reasons. One, I'm going to put this in red. One, it's important for you to see, what do you do first? Factor or complete the square? Factor first. You cannot complete the square unless you factor. And that's where this is where students mess up right here. Between these two, they try to do the complete the square first. Complete the square comes after factor. And the reason I write all this out is to show you that it's not a difficult task. You just have to do it step by what? Step. Unless you're Rain Man, and unless you've had completing the square before, you can't skip those 4 steps right there. You need to do it step by step until you get to where you can do some of it in your head. Okay? All right? F of x is equal to 3 times x minus 7/6.
Yes.
Quantity squared is
Minus 25.
well, was it minus over here across the equal sign, or was it plus?
Just positive.
Okay, so that's going to be minus what?
25 over
25 over
12.
12. All right, that's what the f of x would look like. I wrote f of x up there, I'm sorry. So your vertex is 7/6 and negative 25 over 12. And if you just wanted to write it, 3 times x minus 7/6 quantity squared minus or plus equals 25/12. Then you just take the opposite of both, 7/6 and negative 25/12, and you get the same vertex as if you did it over there. Why did I show you both ways? Because most books, tests, and homeworks want this form. And then they'll ask you for the vertex. But when you're just sketching and you're not having to worry about this form, all you got to do is take the opposite of both to get your vertex. And then we'll solve. So let's solve it. 3 times x minus 7/6 quantity squared is equal to 25/12. Divide by 3 over 1. Divide by 3 over 1. If we divide by 3 over 1, we multiply by 1 over 3. Can't believe I've done 2 problems in a row and I've gotten perfect squares on both of them. So x minus 7/6 is equal to positive or negative 5 over 6. And x is equal to positive or negative 5 plus 7 over 6. What's 5 plus 7? 12 over 6? What's negative 5 plus 7? 2 over 6? There's your 2 x-intercepts. What's the y-intercept?
0, 2.
0, 2. Let me just do this. And intercept on the X is 2. And 1/3. And vertex is 7, 6. That's 1 and a 6th. And -2. Is that what y'all's looks like? Now, how can you check these? Graph them in your calculator.
My calculator won't graph this, and I don't know if my
Oh,
calculator.
done messed it up.
Well, I've been doing statistics on it.
Yeah,
so
take the stat plot off.
I did. I mean, I cleared the list.
No, take the stat plot. Go to second function, y is equal, and turn the stat plot off.
So I
And
have to do
then-
this every time.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, turn it off. Now grab, do this one. Do this one right here. Is that this one?
Yes.
And then see if it looks like ours.
Yeah, it does.
How do you take that one off? Is that in statistics all last semester?
Go to second function, y is equal, and turn it off. Did you turn it off?
Yeah.
And now graph it. Did it graph it? Huh?
Mine did.
I'm waiting. Please concentrate.
Yeah, it did.
Okay. Anybody else need help with their calculator? Don't forget, you can go to Wabbit EMU in the Play Store and put it on your Droid if you want to. Don't have to buy one. Okay, let's do one more. I want to do one more factoring before we bump it up to the last type. So let's do one more, and we'll do 7x squared. Let's go with a -7. Plus 5x minus 4 is equal to 0. Who got mad and left? Somebody left or somebody came in.
She left.
Oh, okay. I got mad at you.
I got mad because
Huh?
you didn't agree with how I wanted Trump, so that's what it was.
One of the things that I despise most of all is arrogance. And I have noticed in the last 10 years, the Republican Party has become the most arrogant party of the two. In other words, they really believe that they just throw out somebody and the United States is just supposed to go, oh gosh, this is a great person. We're going to vote for this person. And it hadn't worked the last 3 elections. Anybody remember Robert Dole? Bob Dole? Anybody remember John McCain? Anybody remember Romney? The stiff, rich, white man ain't going to do it. People say, well, Trump's a rich white man. Yeah, but he ain't no politician. And that's why he's winning. The Republican Party needs to be frightened. I guarantee you, if somebody do research, I'll find out that that woman's daddy probably works for Jeb Bush or one of the politicians.
Who is Alabama?
Yeah. She's got some tie. She's got to be some tie. Jeb Bush has only got 8% of the vote.
Shows you money ain't everything.
Yeah, it does.
He's already raised what?
Lindsey Graham, he ain't even got 0. And they just can't figure out why people are voting. Well, I just don't understand why people are voting for. That shows you what kind of world they live in. They live in this fantasy world that everybody's supposed to love me. I'm GOP. Everybody's supposed to vote for me. I'll shut up. I'll talk about boring math. All right. Here we go. 5/7 divided by 2/1 squared. 5/7 multiplied by 1/2 squared. 5/14 squared. 25/196. Somebody tell me what 14 squared is. It's a miracle. I think 7 will go into that. 7 will go into this, what? 28 times? Somebody check.
Which one?
196 divided by 7. 28? Huh?
28.
Okay. So that makes 28. (112/28). What's 112/28?
I don't understand.
Somebody tell me what 112/28 is. 4. Okay, I'll go over this
Wait, so
right here. Let me go over this.
you're doing the 25/196 times 7? Is that what you're doing right now?
Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to show you how I got that. Let me take that. 4 plus a negative, what did it come out to be? 7 times
25.
25 over
196.
196. All right, this is the right side. I'm just going to show you how I did this. Now, what can we do here? Well, 7 quarters is $1.75, so that's 175 over 196. But that's not going to do you any good because it's two BA numbers and you're sitting there trying to do it in your head. So forget that. So see if this will cancel into this. 7 will go in there 2 times. That'll be 14. And then 56. 7 will go in there. Right there. So now I rewrite it. 4 over 1 minus, what's 1 times 25? And what's 1 times 28? Now what you have to have when you add or subtract fractions, you got to have a common denominator. So 1 and 28 is what? 28. 1 will go in 28. 28 times 4, well, 4 quarters is $1, so that's 100. The difference between 8 and 25, 28 is 3, so it's $1.12. 28 will go in 28 one time. 1 times 25 is 25. So this whole right side of the equal sign comes down to be 100 minus 25 is 75, plus 12 is 87.
Yes.
Now you see where I got it?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to go back here. Is there people that have problems right here? Yes. I would say there's probably 8, 9 people in here. 3 of you have problems right here. Then you need to start, instead of writing it like this, you need to write the right side of the equal sign. You need to start doing this.
And that's what, like I was doing that. I just didn't understand that I can't see.
Yeah.
I have a real hard time with fractions. They definitely did not teach me that in high school.
Well, you don't feel pregnant, okay? Because a lot of people do. And it's not your fault. It's Bush's fault. What happens is you learn, you get in these grammar school grades 2 through. My son was about to fall in the trap. He was about to. He come home one day and said, "Daddy, I don't know how to do math. I made a D on here." And what it was just adding and subtracting 2 and 3 digit numbers. 25 plus 127. You can't learn those unless you know your additive tables and your subtractive tables. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1. And find the patterns. Like when I add 5 and 7, I don't add 5 and 7 in my head. What do I add? 10 and 2. Okay? 5 and 7. I take 3 away from the 5 and add it to the what? 7, and that makes what? 10. Anybody can add 10s. And then you add 10 plus 2. And I told him in the next paper he got A. You can't learn fractions if you haven't learned your multiplication tables and your additive tables and your subtractive tables. Now, what do you do as a 4th grade teacher? Do you take the time to teach that, or do you just let the student fall through the cracks? They ain't got time to teach it because they got so many standards that they have to teach so they can get their money out of the test scores. What do they do when you get to the fractions? Same thing. Either you get it or you don't. If you don't, what do they do after that? They'll tell you to use a calculator. So it's all Bush's fault. Next one. Or the next part. There we go. So what did we get over here?
87.
No. What?
I'm sorry, I'm wrong. 87 over 28.
87 over 28. Now, our vertex is 5/14, which is a third, and negative 87/28. That's the vertex. 0, negative 4 is your y-intercept. And we have no x-intercepts. Why?
Because there's going to be a negative and then
There's a negative in the radical, so 0, negative 4. And 1/3 and negative 4 somewhere.
-3.
Negative 3. How do I know it's opening downward?
There's no x.
That's negative. We're going to get into that when we drop back to chapter 2. And all that stuff in chapter 2 is going to be easy for y'all. Alright, so there's 3 problems at number 8. So now I'm ready to jump up to number 9. There ain't no 10 because that's like a perfect score. I'm not going to give you a 10. So number 9 is about as high as we're going to go. I would even try it. Ain't no sense in trying that. You know you can't do it. Why?
There's so many directions.
I just skip it. Don't even do it. No coffee. No learning. All you do in here is breathe and quit. Oh, I wish that would happen to me. A guy just cut me off on Whitehall Road, but a state trooper was behind me and pulled him over. Why can't I have that happen to me? That guy's important. We got a lot of important people in Anderson. Why are y'all using them calculators?
I did it without it first.
Okay, that's fine.
I just want to make sure. It's right.
Okay, that's fine. I'll believe you. I'll move C for you. There you go. I moved C for you. Hopefully I'm starting to drill in your head that there's four things you do. 1, you move C. 2, you factor out. 3, you do complete the square. And 4, all that trash on the right hand side, write it out if you get a little bit sticky in there. Write everything out, just like I did the B over 2 square it, I write everything out. Some people don't believe they need that. I still do it to this day. I write everything out. All right, I'm going to factor out 1/3 here. But before I do, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put, because what do you do when you factor? You divide. So I'm going to do that. Okay. So, of course, 1/3 divided by 1/3 is 1. So I'm going to take my 1/3 out. And that gives me a 1x squared. But over here, I'm going to put 2/3 divided by 1/3 plus blank is equal to -6 plus 1/3 times blank. Even if you're factoring out a fraction, whatever you factor out, you have to what? Multiply by that right side. Now right here, I'm going to pull this out to the side. And I'm going to do it by hand because I don't want to screw it up. 2 divided by 3 multiplied by what?
3.
Oh my gosh, look what happens to those 3's. So that becomes 2. Now what's the most common mistake that students make here? They do this and they think they've done what? Yeah, and they just start getting confused. They just blow up after that. This is not completing the square. This is just what? Factoring. You still got to complete the square after you factor. And you know that because you've done 2 or 3 problems like that.
That's supposed to be a positive 6. Yeah.
You're going to fail this test.
No.
I'm going to make sure of it now. All right. What's half of 2? It's a miracle. 1 squared is? I see, that wasn't hard. Thought this problem was going to be difficult. And that leaves us with 1/3 times x plus 1, quantity squared, is equal to, well, 6 times 1/3, 1 times 1/3 is 1/3, plus, what? 18/3 is what? 19/3. So everybody should have 1/3 times x plus 1, quantity squared, is equal to 19/3. Did you get it? See? You can do it.
But now I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, I kind of know.
You kind of know. All right, give it to me. What is it? 1/3?
1/3 x plus 1 quantity squared equals 19/3.
All right, this is the 3 arrows.
So I got that part.
f of x is equal to 1/3 x plus 1 quantity squared minus 19/3. So therefore our horizontal shift is -1, vertical shift is -19/3. Vertical shift and horizontal shift make up the vertex. You don't want to write it like this. Just come down here and say -1, -19/3. Question: will these two always match? Yes. And then solve. 1/3 times x plus 1 squared, 19/3. How do you get rid of multiplying by 1/3?
You divide it.
Divide by 1/3, divide by 1/3, or multiply by?
3/1.
There you go. Look at there. 3's canceling. What'd you say?
I forgot that part.
And that's, people, if you're going to make a mistake, it's going to be right here. Is equal to 19. Take the square root of 19. We can do that. Square root of 16 is 4. I'd say 4.2. What does it come out to be? What's the square root of 19?
4.35.
4.4. Does it matter when you're sketching a graph? No. X plus 1 is equal to positive or negative 4.4. X is equal to positive or negative 4.4 minus 1. What's 4.4 minus 1? 3.4. What's negative 4.4 minus 1? Now we're not going to do all the other stuff, but I want you to put it in your graphic calculator. What's the y-intercept?
0,
-6.
-6.
-6. And 3.4 and -5.4.